The Awakening of Titans. The message burst through Earth's interstellar communications network at 2:47 hours Earth Standard Time, shattering the peaceful night shift at Global Defense Command. Lieutenant Maya Harrison's eyes widened as the automated systems flagged it with the highest priority. A distress call, something that hadn't happened in over 15 years of relative peace. This is Arcturus Colony requesting immediate assistance. We are under attack by unknown hostile forces. They appeared without warning. Massive ships, unlike anything we've documented. Our defense systems are failing. I repeat, our defenses air. Static consumed the transmission, followed by what sounded unmistakably like an explosion. Then silence. Harrison's coffee mug slipped from her fingers, shattering on the floor. In her 8 years of service, she had never received a genuine distress call from any of Earth's 23 colonies. Commander Chen, she called, her voice steadier than she felt. Priority 1 transmission from Arcturus. They're under attack. Commander David Chen appeared beside her station in seconds, his expression grim as he reviewed the message. Verify authenticity. Harrison's fingers flew across her console. Confirmed, sir. Transmission includes all proper authentication codes. Last telemetry shows multiple energy signatures consistent with orbital bombardment. The colony's defense grid went offline 90 seconds ago. Chen reached for the secure communications panel. This is a level alpha alert. I need the Defense Council assembled immediately. He looked at Harrison, his face illuminated by the red emergency lights. And contact Admiral Reyes. Tell her Prometheus is now active. Within 30 minutes, Earth's highest military leaders had assembled in the council chamber deep beneath Geneva. The massive viewscreen displayed the last images transmitted from Arcturus. Strange ships with curved, organic-looking hulls raining destruction upon the colony's main settlement. Defense Secretary Amara Okafor entered the chamber, her expression severe. Status report. General Takahashi, head of Earth's Public Space Force, stepped forward. Madam Secretary, Arcturus Colony has gone dark. Based on the data we received, they were attacked by a force using technology significantly beyond anything in our database. The colony had a population of 30,000 civilians and a standard defense garrison. A heavy silence fell over the room. Options, Okafor asked quietly. The military leaders exchanged glances. It was Admiral Elena Reyes who finally stood up. A tall woman with steel-gray hair and eyes that had seen more battles than anyone knew. Madam Secretary, I believe it's time to activate Project Prometheus. The room erupted in murmurs. Most people present had only heard whispers of the project, rumors of a contingency plan that most dismissed as fantasy. Okafor's eyes narrowed. You're certain that's necessary? If what we're seeing is accurate, our conventional forces would be sacrificed for nothing, Reyes replied evenly. This is precisely the scenario Prometheus was designed for. The secretary took a deep breath and nodded. Initiate Project Prometheus. Authorization Okafor Epsilon 917. Admiral Reyes placed her palm on a hidden scanner in the conference table. The main screen changed to display a simple message. Project Prometheus activated. Ladies and gentlemen, Reyes addressed the room. What you're about to see is classified beyond top secret. For the past 40 years, Earth has maintained the appearance of limited military capability as a deliberate strategic decision. The truth is quite different. The screen changed to show images that stunned even the high-ranking officials present. Massive warships hidden in underwater facilities, weapons platforms disguised as civilian stations, and soldiers training with equipment decades beyond anything publicly acknowledged. Operation Thunderstrike is now active, Reyes continued. The Phantom Fleet will deploy to Arcturus within 6 hours. General Takahashi looked stunned. The Phantom Fleet is real. I thought it was theoretical, a deterrence concept. That was the intention, Reyes said. Fewer than 50 people knew the truth. Earth has been preparing for this day for nearly 4 decades. Who authorized this? demanded one of the counselors. Every Secretary of Defense and Council Chairman since the first contact, Rise answered. After we discovered we weren't alone, we made a decision. Appear peaceful and non-threatening while preparing for the worst. The screen showed images of ships that seemed impossibly advanced, sleek vessels with no visible propulsion systems, weapons that defied conventional understanding of physics. I'll be taking personal command of the response force, Rice stated. The Phantom Fleet consists of 117 vessels with technology approximately 60 years beyond what the public believes possible. As the leaders processed this revelation, Colonel Marcus Santos, Raya's aide, entered the chamber and whispered something in her ear. The IWS Nemesis is ready for departure, Admiral, he announced. Raya nodded. Ladies and gentlemen, I must prepare for deployment. The next 24 hours will determine humanity's future in the galaxy. As the council members dispersed to their tasks, General Takahashi approached Raya. All this time, he whispered, we had this capability and never knew. Raya's expression softened slightly. The best-kept secret is the one that most people don't believe exists, General. And now it's time to show these aggressors exactly what they've awakened. The Antarctic facility, designated Olympus, extended nearly 3 kilometers beneath the ice shelf, completely shielded from orbital detection. As Admiral Raya's transport descended through the hidden entrance, Colonel Santos briefed her on the latest intelligence. The attackers have established orbital superiority around Arcturus, he reported. Ground forces have begun landing operations. Based on their pattern, they appear to be methodically eliminating all resistance before beginning resource extraction. Casualties? Raya asked, her voice tight. Unknown, but the colony had approximately 30,000 civilians. Defense forces would have numbered around 700. The transport landed in an enormous hangar where hundreds of personnel were rushing to complete final preparations. Dr. Vivian Chen, Director of Advanced Weapons Research, waited for them. Admiral, she greeted Raya. Nemesis and her battle group are fully operational. All systems are at optimal capacity. They walked through a series of security checkpoints until they reached an observation deck overlooking the main hangar bay. Below them stretched a cavern so vast it seemed impossible it could remain hidden. My God, whispered Santos, seeing the full fleet for the first time. Dominating the center was a warship unlike anything in Earth's public navy. Nearly 2 kilometers long, the IWS Nemesis gleamed darkly, her hull composed of materials that seemed to absorb light. Unlike the bulky transport ships used by Earth's public space force, this vessel was elegant and lethal, unmistakably designed for war. The pride of the Phantom Fleet, Dr. Chen said with undisguised pride. Powered by contained singularity drives, armed with particle lance arrays and quantum phase torpedoes, protected by adaptive shields that can analyze and counter any weapon signature. Around the Nemesis, dozens of smaller vessels, frigates, destroyers, and fighter craft, prepared for deployment. Teams of technicians swarmed over the ships, performing final checks on systems that officially didn't exist. And we've had this capability all along, Santos said, while our colonies were using outdated defense grids. A calculated risk, Raya replied, walking toward an elevator that would take them to the command deck of the Nemesis. Earth has documented 34 different alien civilizations. Most have been peaceful, but our deep space probes detected others, species whose first instinct is conquest. We needed the ability to respond decisively if ever faced with extinction. As they entered the command deck, the crew snapped to attention. Captain Diana Walsh, hand-selected by Raya years earlier, approached. Admiral on deck, she called, saluting crisply. Status report, Captain, Raya requested, returning the salute. Nemesis is ready for deployment. Battle groups Orion, Hercules, and Perseus await your command. All ships are crewed and armed. Raya nodded, taking her position at the command station. The bridge hummed with activity as officers prepared for humanity's first true interstellar conflict. Communications, Rais called, "Connect me to all vessels in the Phantom Fleet." A moment later, she addressed the men and women who had trained in secret for years, preparing for a day they hoped would never come. "This is Admiral Rais. As you know, Arcturus colony has come under attack by an unknown alien force. For decades, we have hidden our true strength from the galaxy, presenting ourselves as a species focused on peaceful exploration and commerce. Today, that changes. Today, we will show these aggressors that humanity is not to be trifled with." She paused, looking around at the determined faces of her crew. "Some of you may wonder why we maintained this deception for so long. The answer is simple. We hoped never to need these ships, these weapons. We chose to appear unthreatening while preparing for the worst. Now the worst has come, and we are ready." On screens throughout the fleet, crews watched their admiral with rapt attention. "Our mission is clear. Reach Arcturus, eliminate the hostile force, and rescue any survivors. Fight with discipline and precision. We are soldiers, not butchers. But make no mistake, we will show these attackers exactly what happens when someone threatens humanity." She nodded to Captain Walsh. "Begin launch sequence." The massive ceiling of the facility slid open, revealing the Antarctic night sky. Across the fleet, engines powered up, drives that bent space-time itself rather than pushing against it. "All systems online, Admiral," reported Walsh. "The fleet is ready for departure." Rais took a deep breath, looking at the stars where Arcturus shone faintly. Whoever had attacked the colony was about to face the full might of what humanity had kept hidden for decades. "Take us out, Captain," she ordered. "It's time to introduce ourselves to the galaxy." The Nemesis rose silently into the night sky, followed by the rest of the Phantom Fleet, Earth's hidden arsenal finally unleashed. As they accelerated beyond Earth's atmosphere, the fleet disappeared from conventional sensors, moving faster than light toward a battle that would change the course of human history. The sleeping giant had awakened, and the galaxy would never be the same. Wrath of a sleeping giant. The Phantom Fleet emerged from FTL at the edge of the Arcturus system, a deadly armada appearing where moments before there had been only empty space. Admiral Rais stood on the bridge of the Nemesis, her face grim as the main display showed the devastation around Arcturus IV. "Status report," she ordered, her voice steady despite the horrific scene before them. "Multiple hostile vessels detected in orbit around the colony," reported Lieutenant Commander Zoya Petrov, the ship's tactical officer. "I count 38 ships of various sizes. Their design matches nothing in our database." The colony below was barely recognizable. Where once stood a thriving settlement of 30,000 people, now lay smoking ruins and impact craters. Fires still burned across the landscape, visible even from orbit. "Any signs of survivors?" Rais asked, though she already suspected the answer. "Faint life signs detected in the underground emergency shelters," responded the sensor officer after several moments. "Perhaps a few thousand people, Admiral. The colony's main structures have been completely destroyed." Rais's jaw tightened. Tactical assessment of the enemy vessels. Dr. Chen stepped forward, her eyes fixed on the holographic display showing the alien ships. They were curved and asymmetrical, with organic-looking protrusions that gave them an almost living appearance. "Their technology is advanced, but not beyond our capabilities," Chen stated. "Hull composition appears to be a metallic-organic hybrid. Weapon systems utilize directed plasma technology with what appears to be quantum targeting. Most importantly, they haven't detected us yet." Rais nodded. "Our stealth systems are holding." "Good." She turned to Colonel Santos. "What are we dealing with, Colonel? Who are they?" Santos had been analyzing intercepted communications, based on the transmissions we're capturing. "They call themselves the Caridian Dominion. They appear to be an expansionist species. From what we can gather, they've conquered multiple systems in this sector. They've never encountered serious resistance from technologically advanced species before. Until now," Rais said quietly. She ordered a scout ship to move closer for better intelligence gathering. The small vessel, nearly invisible to conventional sensors, slipped toward the alien fleet. "Admiral," Petrov called suddenly, "one of the alien ships is breaking formation. It's moving toward the position of our scout." Rise leaned forward. "Have they detected us?" "Impossible to determine, ma'am, but their trajectory suggests they might have noticed something." "Scout ship Herms requesting instructions," the communications officer announced. Rice considered her options. They still didn't know enough about their enemy, but they couldn't risk their scout being captured. "Tell Herms to maintain stealth protocols, but prepare for engagement if necessary." She addressed the bridge crew. "Battle stations, everyone." The bridge erupted into activity as the crew prepared for possible combat. On the main screen, they watched as the Caridian patrol ship approached the location of their scout. "The alien vessel is activating some kind of scanning beam," Petrov reported. Moments later, alarms blared. "They've detected Herms. The Caridian ship is powering weapons. Herms reports they've been locked onto," the communications officer added. Reyes made her decision instantly. "Tell Herms to engage defensive protocols only. Bring our fleet to attack position Delta. If they want to fight, let's show them what they're dealing with." On the screen, the small scout ship suddenly decloaked, revealing itself to the surprised Caridian patrol. Before the alien vessel could fire, Herms launched a precision strike that disabled the Caridian's main weapons array without destroying the ship. The effect was immediate. The Caridian vessel attempted to retreat, broadcasting urgent messages to the main fleet. "They're sending a distress call," Santos reported, listening to the alien communications. "They sound confused, Admiral. They're reporting contact with an unknown advanced species." Reyes allowed herself a grim smile. They thought they were hunting defenseless prey. Time to correct that assumption. She stood up, addressing the entire bridge. "Bring the fleet to full combat readiness. Target their command vessels only. I want to make a statement, not start a massacre." The Nemesis's engines flared to life as the massive warship moved into position, its weapons systems powering up. Around it, the rest of the Phantom fleet formed up, a deadly formation of Earth's hidden might. "Let's show the Caridian Dominion exactly who they've chosen to attack," Rice said, her voice cold with determination. "And what happens when you threaten humanity." The Caridian fleet scrambled into defensive positions as Earth's ships emerged from stealth mode. The sudden appearance of the Phantom fleet sent waves of confusion through their ranks. What had seemed like an easy conquest was rapidly turning into something else entirely. "All vessels in attack formation," Rice commanded from the Nemesis's bridge. "Phase 1 of Operation Thunderstrike begins now." The Phantom fleet split into 3 battle groups with practiced precision. Rice had designed this maneuver herself during countless simulation drills, a 3-pronged assault that would divide enemy attention and resources. Battle Group Orion, engage their left flank. Hercules, target their support vessels. Perseus, prepare for ground assault, Rice ordered, her voice calm despite the tension gripping the bridge. On the main tactical display, the Earth vessels moved with incredible speed and coordination. The Caridians attempted to adjust their formation, but their movements seemed clumsy and reactive compared to the disciplined Earth forces. "Admiral, the Caridians are transmitting on all frequencies," reported the communications officer. They're asking who we are." Rice nodded. "Open a channel." The main screen shifted to show a Caridian, humanoid, but with iridescent scaled skin and large compound eyes. The alien commander appeared shocked at the human face before him. "This is Admiral Elena Reyes of the interstellar warship Nemesis, representing the United Earth Alliance. You have attacked a human colony without provocation, murdered our citizens, and destroyed our infrastructure. We demand your immediate surrender." The Caridian commander recovered from his surprise, his expression shifting to disdain. "We are the Caridian Dominion. This system now belongs to us. Your colony was built on resources we require. Your primitive species should be honored to serve our greater purpose." Reyes's expression didn't change. I don't think you understand your situation. Look at your tactical display. Notice how we appeared without warning, how your sensors didn't detect our approach. She leaned forward slightly. That was not an accident. We've been watching you for some time. For the first time, uncertainty flickered across the alien's features. You believe humans to be defenseless, with limited military capability, Rice continued. That was by design. We prefer peace, but we prepare for war. This is your only warning. Surrender immediately, or face the consequences. The Caridian commander hissed something in his native language before responding. The Dominion does not surrender. Your deception merely delays the inevitable. The transmission cut off. They're powering weapons across their fleet, Petrov reported. Rice nodded, unsurprised. All vessels, execute combat protocols. Neutralize their weapons capabilities where possible. Colonel Santos, prepare ground teams for deployment. Priority is rescuing survivors. The battle erupted in earnest as Caridian vessels fired the first shots, plasma bolts streaking toward the Earth fleet. But the human ships moved with unnatural speed, their adaptive shields absorbing or deflecting the energy weapons. Return fire, Rice ordered calmly. Target propulsion and weapons systems only. The Nemesis's main weapons array powered up. Quantum phase torpedoes launched in precise trajectories, striking 3 Caridian vessels simultaneously. The alien ships didn't explode. Instead, their systems simply went dark, leaving them drifting in space. Direct hits on all targets, Petrov reported. Their power cores are intact but neutralized. No casualties detected. Across the battlefield, Earth's ships executed similar precision strikes. The Caridians fought back fiercely, but their technology, while advanced, couldn't match weapons and defensive systems that Earth had developed in secret over decades. Admiral, Santos called out, ground teams are ready for deployment. Drop ships standing by. Rice studied the tactical display. The battle in space was proceeding according to plan, but the true challenge awaited on the surface. Launch the Ghosts, she ordered. From the belly of the Nemesis, 20 sleek transport vessels emerged, each carrying a squad of soldiers equipped with exoskeletons that made them nearly invisible to sensors. The elite Ghost Special Forces units that had trained for years in absolute secrecy. Commander Nadia Volkov, leader of Ghost Squadron, appeared on screen from her dropship. My teams are ready, Admiral. Rules of engagement. Priority is rescuing survivors, Rice replied. Engage hostile forces only when necessary to protect civilians. We need prisoners for intelligence, Commander. Volkov nodded. Understood. We'll bring our people home. The dropships accelerated toward the planet's surface, using the same stealth technology that had hidden the fleet to avoid Caridian defenses. On the bridge of the Nemesis, Rice watched as the space battle continued to unfold. Several Caridian vessels were attempting to flee, while others fought with increasing desperation. Admiral, Petrov called out, the Caridian flagship is powering up what appears to be a singularity weapon. Energy readings are off the charts. Rice's eyes narrowed. Target their power core. Precision strike only. The Nemesis's main particle lance charge, a beam of focused energy that cut through space with surgical precision. It struck the Caridian flagship exactly where Dr. Chen had calculated their power core would be located. The alien vessel's weapons powered down immediately, lights flickering across its hull. Direct hit, Petrov confirmed. Their singularity weapon is offline. Open a channel to all Caridian vessels, Rice ordered. When the connection was established, she spoke in the same calm, measured tone. This is Admiral Rice. Your flagship has been neutralized. Half your fleet is disabled. Our ground forces are already moving to secure the colony. You have 2 options: surrender, or we will be forced to eliminate any remaining resistance. For several long moments, there was no response. Then, one by one, Caridian vessels began powering down their weapons. We're receiving surrender signals from 23 enemy ships, the communications officer reported. The remaining vessels appear to be maintaining combat stance. Reyes nodded. Disable the holdouts. No unnecessary casualties. As the battle in space wound down, reports began coming in from the surface. Commander Volkov's teams had secured the main shelter complexes, finding nearly 5,000 survivors, far more than initial scans had suggested. The colonists used the emergency tunnel systems to hide from Caridian ground forces, Volkov reported. We've encountered pockets of resistance, but nothing we can't handle. Medical teams are treating the wounded now. Hours later, as the last Caridian vessels surrendered, Reyes stood in the Nemesis's observation deck, looking down at the devastated colony. Colonel Santos joined her, datapad in hand. Casualty report, she said without turning. Just over 3,000 colonists confirmed dead, Santos replied solemnly. Another 7,000 wounded, some critically. The Caridians lost approximately 800 troops in the ground assault, plus another 2,000 on their vessels. Our casualties, 17 dead, 43 wounded. Reyes closed her eyes briefly. Too many. It could have been much worse, Santos pointed out, if we hadn't had the Phantom Fleet. I know. Reyes turned to face him. But now we have a new problem. The secret's out. Every species in this sector will soon know Earth's true military capability. Santos nodded. The Defense Council is already debating next steps. Secretary Okafor has called for an emergency session of the Interstellar Assembly. And the Caridians? Preliminary interrogations suggest they're part of a coalition of species, an expansionist alliance that's been systematically conquering resource-rich systems. They chose Arcturus because our public military presence there was minimal, and they believed we lacked the capability or will to respond effectively. Reyes turned back to the viewport. A miscalculation that cost thousands of lives on both sides. What happens now, Admiral? She considered the question carefully. Now we rebuild Arcturus. We learn everything we can about this dominion, and we prepare for what comes next. The galaxy knows we're not defenseless now. Some will respect that. Others will see it as a challenge. A message chimed on her comm unit. Secretary Okafor's voice came through, sounding weary but determined. Admiral Reyes, the Council has made its decision. It's time to bring the Phantom Fleet into the light. The deception ends today. Reyes acknowledged the order and ended the transmission. The strategy that had guided Earth's interstellar policy for decades was changing. The sleeping giant had awakened, and now the galaxy would have to adjust to a new reality. One where humanity was recognized not just for its scientific achievements and diplomatic initiatives, but for its formidable military power as well. As the Nemesis maintained its position above Arcturus, rescue and recovery operations continued on the surface. This was just the beginning, Reyes knew. The true test would come in the days and weeks ahead, as Earth navigated this new era of interstellar relations. One thing was certain: no one would underestimate humanity again.